Good morning, everybody. Thank you for being here today. If you want to follow along, you can find their place in the 30th chapter of the book of Genesis, beginning in verse 14. And we will continue with General Hospital, or As the World Turns, whatever soap opera you want to call this. You only think it's been strange. It's about to get stranger. All right, beginning in verse 14. In the days of the wheat harvest, Reuben went and found mandrakes in the field and brought them to his mother Leah. Then Rachel said to Leah, "Please give me some of your son's mandrakes." But she, Leah, said to her, Rachel, "Is it a small matter that you have taken away my husband? Would you take away my son's mandrakes also?" Rachel said, "Then he may lie with you tonight in exchange for your son's mandrakes." When Jacob came from the field in the evening, Leah went out to meet him and said, "You must come in to me, for I have hired you with my son's mandrakes." So he lay with her that night, and God listened to Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob a fifth son. And Leah said, "God has given me my wages because I gave my servant to my husband." So she called him Issachar. And Leah conceived again, and she bore Jacob a sixth son. Then Leah said, "God has endowed me with a good endowment. Now my husband will honor me because I have borne him six sons." So she called his name Zebulun. Afterwards she bore a daughter and called her name Dinah. Alrighty, let's see if we can sort this sordid tale out. Um, Reuben goes out hunting, and he finds some mandrakes in the field. Mandrakes were believed to be, um, I guess, a good luck charm. That mandrakes would help a woman to conceive, and so these are important items. So Reuben brings them to his mother. Rachel comes to her sister and says, "Let me have some of the mandrakes." Leah says, "No, wasn't it not enough that you've taken away my husband?" It appears from that statement that maybe Jacob was spending most of his time with Rachel. Again, remember, he never really wanted Leah in the first place. So he's spending most of his time with her. And so you've taken him, now you want my mandrakes too. And Rachel says, "I'll make a deal with you. Give me some of the mandrakes, and you can have Jacob for the night." You can put two and two together there. So they agree. Leah goes out as Jacob comes in from work and says, "Hey, I bought you. I own you tonight. So you're going to sleep with me tonight." And when they do, she gets pregnant. She has a fifth son. She calls his name Issachar, which means bartered, because she bartered for this. She eventually has another son named Zebulun. Then Rachel finally has her first child. She's going to have Joseph down later on in chapter 30. Um, and so the family feud, the soap opera, whatever you choose to call it, just keeps rolling along. And again, you couldn't find a story like this in Hollywood. But what we see, the lesson that I would remind you of, and again, we look at this, and I don't think most normal humans can look at this story without just shaking their head at I guess you say, the craziness going on here. Bartering for your husband, um, trying to have out child the other one. Uh, it's just crazy stuff going on here. Sinful stuff going on here. Let's be honest. It's sinful stuff. It shows the wickedness and the evilness of the heart, their determination to have their way. And yet, as we continue in the book of Genesis, and really throughout the whole Bible, and trace trace everything back to this family, we see that in spite of their wicked ways, in spite of their crazy decisions, their sinful methods that just continue. Every time we think we have seen the bottom of the pit, somebody in this family digs a little deeper and says, "No, hey y'all, watch this." Or you hadn't seen anything yet. I don't know. I don't know what they're saying here, but they just keep kind of one-upping each other in the wicked department. And yet, we find out as we read the story, as we again read all the way through into the New Testament, to ultimately the birth of Christ, that in spite of their wickedness, God is gracious, God is generous, continues to work His plan, and continues to work to accomplish His will and His purpose, in spite of their bad decisions. And I just leave you with this thought this morning. Satan will sometimes tell us you've messed up too bad to be used by God. You're too big a mess. God can't possibly use you. When he says that to you, remind him of Rachel and Leah and Jacob and his family, and say, yeah, it's not perfect. I'm not perfect. I'm not saying I am. But God can still use us. God is still gracious. God is still merciful. And God can still use you in spite of your Rachel and Leah-like moments. All right, you have a good day. We'll see you here tomorrow morning.